Hi, I'm your host Davia Chambers, welcoming you to Let's Talk Tobago. It's our first edition for 2023. Of course, Christmas has come and gone, leaving us with endless possibilities for a new year and a new season. We're so happy to be with you for another year, bringing you the sights, the sounds, and the energy that make Tobago a one-of-a-kind island. So get comfy and leave the heavy lifting to us as we share this week's top stories. Visitors are enjoying a promising cruise season in Tobago. The island pays a fitting tribute as it celebrates the life of one of the island's true icons. And we look back at Tobago's Day of Prayer, which marks a positive start to the new year. We'll bring you these stories and more right after this break. Stay with us.
Mason Hall Moriah, your executive council is coming to meet with you. The THA will continue its district town hall meeting series on Tuesday, January 17th at the Moriah Community Center from 6:30 p.m. Come out as the executive council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions.
To all the villagers, let's come out, let's talk to the representatives, let's get our issues fixed, and we're on 2023.
So join us from 6:30 p.m. at the Moriah Community Center for the Executive Council District Town Hall meeting. Remember, your voice matters.
Tobago has earned a special place in the hearts of many travelers. It's one of the reasons the island has enjoyed a promising restart to the cruise industry as more vessels are choosing Destination Tobago as their preferred port of call. Have a look.
Well, cruise shipping in general has a surge in demand after COVID. Everybody wants to get back out there and travel. So I think the demand will always be there, and the demand for ships to come back to Tobago will always be there. The onus is on us to provide the service that they expect. So the tours we see most, obviously the Pigeon Point Beach, that's always a big seller. Currently today we have probably over 300 persons going to Pigeon Point Beach alone. Other popular tours are Tobago South, which basically does a tour of Tobago South, the different forts, Mysterious Tombstone, that sort of thing. And another famous one is the folkloric show, where we put on exactly what you're seeing here with the entertainment here at the port. We do that in a private setting for the guests. We also have more active tours like a boat cruise to Little Tobago, where you do a hike on Little Tobago. We do tours in the rainforest, Argyle Waterfall, Cocoa Discovery, different things like that.
We have all the maxis are engaged and a few PTSC buses, and so far we will have covered the transportation issue. We have been taking them around this beautiful island of Tobago. They are enjoying it and they are having a wonderful time. Not only for the taxi operator, you have like the cultural group, then you have the reef boat, you have the people who are selling, doing arts and craft, which is very good. So it's general, right? But and I think we are enjoying it and we are benefiting from it, and I trust that this can continue and there will be an increase.
From the time they reach close enough and they hear the music, you see the dancing from off the boat, you know, so it's a good feeling being received by them in that way. Some persons know about the instrument, some persons don't know. So they will ask questions like, is it amplified? Is it electronic? How many notes? How do we create the pan? Who created it?
Close to a dozen ships have already visited Destination Tobago, with several more calls scheduled. From the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, I'm Juliet James reporting for Let's Talk Tobago.
So Titus is a Latin word meaning honorable and strong, related to the term Titan. Fittingly, these are all words that could have been used to describe the late Royal Axeback Titus, who had a massive impact on this island. And that's how he'll be remembered as Tobago recently celebrated his life. If you missed out his farewell, here are some highlights.
was a father, a revenue officer, an advisor, a teacher, a principal, a school supervisor, a cultural group leader, a cricket captain, a steel pan arranger, a choreographer, a composer, an anthropologist, an author, a producer, a director, a musician, a calypsonian. He was a Senate vice president.
He came to Speyside High School and contributed heavily to the school's cultural development. On numerous occasions, he led the school's choir to different music festivals where we performed at Queen's Hall and Napa. He also introduced folk dance and led the school's dance group to many renowned places throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
I want to give a commitment on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly that we will see to it that his unpublished works get published so that the legacy will continue and so that the information and knowledge that he had will be passed on for generations to come.
Tell me, check the style of my calypso. They keep telling me all the while, careful with the things you make people know.
2023 is going to be the mother of all carnivals in Trinidad and Tobago after the impact of COVID-19. So if Lit was a festival, this would definitely be it. Of course, steel pan plays a major part, and Tobago has already made its mark with Uptown Fascinators topping the National Small Band semi-finals. In fact, 5 other Tobago bands, T and the Tech Eastside Dimension, Alpha Pan Pioneers, Tobago Panthers, West Side Symphony, and CNB Crown Cordons are into the top 15, meaning they'll compete for the crown. In this story, Uptown Fascinators tells us about their carnival experience so far.
For me, picking an old tune is not just finding any old song and just decide to pick it. It has to be something that old and young people could relate to.
We are here to defend our championship, and we know what it takes. Of course, we felt excited, but we also remain humble.
A bit of nervousness because you never know what we're hoping for the best. We're in a good position right now, but we are in no way comfortable or feeling like we're on top of the world or anything. We have a lot of work to do. This is only the first night since we come back from Trinidad, and we back in the Panther and getting it hard, getting it together because we really want it. We're hungry for it.
So we have to take a break, but don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Mason Hall Moriah, your executive council, is coming to meet with you. The THA will continue its district town hall meeting series on Tuesday, January 17th at the Moriah Community Center from 6:30 p.m. Come out as the executive council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions.
To all the villagers, let's come out, let's talk to the representatives, let's get our issues fixed, and we're on 2023.
So join us from 6:30 p.m. at the Moriah Community Center for the Executive Council District Town Hall meeting. Remember, your voice matters.
New Year's Day was about getting 2023 off to the right start, with the island hosting its first day of prayer. Representatives from several denominations gathered to pray for Tobago. Here's a look back at the day of prayer.
Have you ever wondered why we should pray? And as Matthew 21:22 says, "And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive it if you have faith." And this Tobago House of Assembly Executive Council has made it their prime concern to keep a day of prayer once every month.
We ask Almighty God to shower His blessings upon all our families. Lord, you know the brokenness of family life at this time. You know the challenges that we face. But Father, Lord, we know that with you all things are possible. So as we begin this new year, we entrust all of our families, O God, to your merciful care. And we pray, Almighty God, that through the power of your Holy Spirit, you continue to bind all families with cords of love that cannot be broken.
And, O God, as we come praying for our land, we ask, O Holy Father, that you continue to teach our elders, give our elders the word to give on to our people, so that our people will change their mindset and turn from their wicked ways and come to glorify you in spirit and in truth.
As we gather in this fashion to lift up our prayerful concerns about our nation, Trinidad and Tobago, we do so knowing that your ears are not too dull that you cannot hear, and your hands are not too short that you cannot save us.
Lord, we pray in a special way for wisdom for our leaders, as that national song and hymn will say, give them grace to guide. Oh Lord, we pray that you will allow equity and equality to reign in this Tobago space. We pray, dear Lord, that you will give your people good health, as your word will have indicated that you wish above all things that we prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospereth.
It's important to recognize those who contributed to society. Now, the Tobago Youth Awards 2022 is in the air, and as the island gets ready to honor its youth mentors, and organizations who've made a difference in the past year, so we chatted with some of the past awardees to find out how much of a difference that recognition has made to them. Here's what they said.
The Tobago Youth Awards was established in 2003 to recognize youth excellence on the island. The honorees are those who've contributed to Tobago's development, both as individual and youth organization.
The current nomination period seeks to highlight our outstanding young persons for the primary period of September 2021 to August of 2022. Following the nomination period, at the close of nomination, we have an independent selection committee that is appointed, comprising of individuals from within both the private and public sector.
Past winners of the awards say they can be life-changing.
At first, I was a bit surprised, but winning the award just goes to show that there are persons that look at you and look up to you, and you're not even aware that persons are looking at what could you do in society. And that would have just really given me that drive to continue reaching out to young persons in my community and young persons on the island.
Some of us were like, yes, I know he was going to win, it was a blessing. It immediately boosted our self-esteem, it added credibility to our efforts, it was almost a testimony to say that, yes, you see, hard work does pay off.
The award ceremony is scheduled for later this month. I am David Jacobs for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now we've come to the end of this edition of Let's Talk Tobago. It's been our pleasure bringing you a close-up view of the island. As always, we thank you for watching. Remember, you can email us with your comments or queries, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. To find out more about Mercedes Villa, you can call 678-0021. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week.
you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Now, today it's an amazing day, and for those of you joining us as you start your morning, those of you viewing us as you take your breakfast, and even those tuning in as you drive on the road, thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. It's Wednesday, the 18th of January, 2023, and I am your host for today, Luke Trim, and I'm also joined by
Kaylee Lewis. Good morning, Tobago. Luke, I think we're noticing something different regarding your voice. What's up there?
Oh my Lord, well, thankfully today we will be recapping the events that would have led to the difference in my voice this morning. But thanks to God, thanks to the honey and lemon and the Vicks, that my voice is somewhat back, because everybody who knows that I couldn't even get one word out of my throat.
I remember.
We're gonna unravel the events that led up to this. So Kaylee, what's been happening recently in this space thus far?
Well, we saw that they launched Carnival recently. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm excited. I would have seen that Marshall has some very interesting lineup of artists for his show. Oh, wow.
I think that show is one that we definitely cannot miss. I feel like that's something that you have to be there.
We have to be there.
It's a moment in history you cannot miss.
Exactly.
I mean, it's Fantastic Friday. I mean, when he launched it, I was wondering what is going on with Soca Monarch. Because, you know, Fantastic Friday is for Soca Monarch, and now Marshall is having his show on Friday, because usually we know it's Marshall Monday. But he did say that he was not having a Marshall Monday after the last one that he had. So he's having it on Friday now.
You know, seeing that, you know, this is probably the first Carnival for Trinidad since COVID, it's always good to do something a little different.
Exactly.
It's always good to do something a little different. But Kaylee, let us, you know, bask the viewers with your grace and your excellence as we head over to news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Luke. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 18th January 2023. There will be mass on the road for Carnival 2023 in Tobago. Tobago Festivals Commission CEO John Arnold made the announcement yesterday at the official media launch for the mother of all carnivals. Tobago band leaders threatened to boycott Carnival if their allocation of $1.3 million was not increased. However, Arnold said the band leaders had a change of heart and promised to produce mass, despite no change to the budget. 32 bands are expected to be on display. In other news, for the first time, raspberries are growing in Tobago. The berries are grown in special greenhouses constructed by Berry Cove Limited at the Cove Eco-Industrial Park. The raspberry is the first of several berry plants to bear fruits after being planted as an experiment to see if the fruits could be produced in Trinidad and Tobago. Earlier in the week, the Berry Cove Limited team also posted on social media that the first blackberry flower were already popping out of the plants after only a month of planting the plugs. The venture is expected to help reduce imports, as the locally grown berries would cut the number of fruits imported for consumption. And nationally, Christine Kangaloo officially resigned as a government senator and Senate president on Tuesday. After a result of her resignation, a new president of the Senate will need to be elected. The Senate sits later this morning, where the election is expected to take place. Meanwhile, Kangaloo is the government's nominee for President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Electoral College will meet in Parliament on Friday to elect a new president of the country. That was your news in 90 seconds. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you very much, Kaylee, for that excellent read of the news as per usual. And Kaylee, you know we always love to celebrate birthdays here at Tobago Updates.
Of course.
So who do we have first on our list, Kaylee?
Well, first on our list this morning, we have Miss Linda Ramswack. Happy birthday to you, Linda.
Next on our list, we have Debbie John. Happy birthday to you, and I hope you enjoy your day today.
Next, we have Mr. Shazdan Solomon. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Solomon. I see he is rocking a Brazil t-shirt there.
Next on our list, we have Simone Tracy Henry. Happy birthday to you.
We also have celebrating birthday today, Miss Ayana Ramsey. Happy birthday to you, Miss Ramsey.
Next on our list, we have Miss Sherma Prince. Happy birthday to you, Miss Prince. And the last on our list, who do we have, Kaylee?
Well, we have Omar celebrating a birthday this morning. Happy birthday to you, Omar, coming from the Tobago Updates family.
Lovely. So that's all for the birthdays today. Now, Kaylee, we have to give them the rundown. We have to give them the rundown. So, viewers and listeners, today is going to be an excellent day. We have some very interesting segments. So, first, we will be bringing on Brittany Duncan and some others to discuss the annual Rotaract District 70-30 Conference 2023. Next on our list, we'll be bringing on Abini Taylor, no stranger to us here at Tobago Update, as she will be discussing to us how us as young people can maximize our 24 hours. And lastly, we will be unraveling the events behind my voice this morning. And we will be bringing on someone who is no stranger to us here at Tobago Updates at all. But I'm going to keep it hidden until we get there, as we will be discussing the Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit 2023 that took place right here in Tobago. So viewers, what we have to tell them to do, Kaylee? Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Socialize is yeah. Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
It's so much man good day. Socialize.
Socialize!
Freedom at last. Raise a glass.
Socialize!
27th of January. Look for where.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show. This morning, I'm joined by some members of the Rotaract Club of Tobago and the Rotaract District 7030. Good morning to you all, and how are you all doing this morning?
Good morning, and good morning to everybody on Tobago Updates. Good morning to the Tobago Updates family.
Okay, so you could just start by introducing yourselves. I know that this is Miss Brittany Duncan. She is the president of Rotaract Tobago, the club that I'm a prospective member of and very happy to be a part of. We also have Kevin and Justin. You could just introduce yourself, say which club you all are from, that kind of thing.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, District 7030. My name is Justin Schwelt. I am from the Rotaract Club of Port of Spain West in Trinidad, and I am also the District Rotaract representative for District 7030. Good morning.
Hi, morning, everyone. My name is Kevin St. Bryce, past president of the Rotaract Club of Piarco UE, past district Rotaract representative, and now the chair of the 2023, co-chair of the 2023 conference in Tobago.
Okay, wonderful to meet all of you. Can you all just start off by telling us a little bit about Rotaract? Rotaract Tobago for Brittany, and Rotaract in general for Justin and Kevin.
Okay, so I will start. Rotaract Tobago is an international service organization. We are under the umbrella of Rotary International. Rotary International, of course, is one of the largest international service organizations in the world. Traditionally, Rotary would have catered to persons 35 and over, and so they created a youth arm, which is now known as Rotaract. So Rotaract now has more than 10,000 clubs all over the world, and we are separated in districts. The Rotaract clubs in Trinidad and Tobago is under the District 7030, and specifically Rotaract Tobago is all about creating platforms for youth leadership and creating platforms for people to serve and to do community service work. We cater to persons 18 and over.
Okay, so I feel like Brittany would have summed up Rotaract, what it is in a nutshell, essentially. There are a lot of service organizations all over Trinidad and Tobago for professional development, opportunities for persons to give back to their community. What makes Rotaract, or any club under the Rotary umbrella, what makes it different? Why should young persons join Rotaract?
So I guess the unique thing about Rotaract is not just about community service. There are many arms under the Rotaract banner that a Rotaractor can get involved in. The main part, obviously, being community service, but you also have opportunities to bring awareness to international issues And it's one of the best places, hands down, I would say, to develop yourselves professionally, and hands down one of the best youth organizations to network with young leaders and young professionals worldwide, right? So if you want to make a difference and you want to make a difference in your community, and you want to take action and meet people from around the world and develop your skills, Rotaract is the best place to do that, and that's what makes it different. And we have a lot of fun doing it as well.
Okay, so a little earlier on, Brittany would have touched on it regarding Rotary and Rotaract. But can you all go a little deeper in terms of the difference between Rotaract and Rotary? Because I feel like the distinction between them, so a lot of persons get it mixed up, Rotaract and Rotary. So just clarify that a little bit for the public for us. Thank you.
Well, to be honest, we same family. You know, we are the same group. So Rotary and Rotaract are both the same people. You know, so we are partners in service. So like she was saying, it's really Rotary are a little bit older folks, and Rotaract is just the younger group. So what they recognize is that the Rotary buy-in, because obviously, when you get into Rotary, a lot of people are there until till the end. So it's a longer journey there, but there are younger people that they want to get involved, and obviously with youth you have a lot of energy, and not just Rotaract, but below Rotaract there's Interact, under 18, around 12 to 18, and before that there's Early Act, so it's a lifelong journey of service from Early Act to Interact to Rotaract to Rotary. So but we all do the same thing, which is community outreach, volunteering, and then there's a lot of professional development that comes with it, and because of the network that you have, a lot of times you can meet people that can help you along and guide you to good paths. And so it's just a great organization altogether to be a part of.
Okay, and Justin, you are the DRR, that's correct, right? Can you tell us about your experience as a Rotaractor so far? Some of the places you would have been to, some of the opportunities that you would have had. Just tell us a little bit about that. And how you come to your position as DRR right now, most importantly.
Well, I've been in the club since 2012, and the real reason I joined is because I wanted to give back in some way. I know that I couldn't change the world by myself, so I was looking for some way to make a difference. And I met someone in work who was doing a fundraiser for my Rotaract Club, Rotaract Club of Port of Spain West. And I asked her, what is this about? And she said, we're raising funds to do community service projects and these kind of things. And I said, I think this is the space for me. And I went there expecting, to plan projects and help the community. But then I realized that it's so much more than just helping the community. I got to meet a lot of people from around the Caribbean and around the world. If you ask me to name somebody from around the Caribbean who we can connect with in another country, I can name someone in any Caribbean island and even in the world, right? And I also was able to develop myself professionally. I boast that 10 years ago, I couldn't be doing this interview, I would say no one time, I might be shaking on camera and these kind of things, so I was able to develop my leadership skills, my communication skills, and my professional skills over the years, right? As District Rotaract representative, what happens is that the islands around District 7030, and by the way, we have 17 territories in District 7030, spanning from St. Kitts all the way down to Trinidad and Tobago, and in South America, we have Guyana, French Guyana, and Suriname, and we have Aruba and Curacao as well. And we have 45 clubs, and what these clubs do at every year is that they elect a District Rotaract representative to represent them on the Rotary International level. So clubs would have decided, and before me there was past DRR Kevan as well. He was elected before me. And what we do basically is just we represent Rotaract on a district level. We coordinate activities for Rotaract clubs to do together with other clubs in the district and around the world, and with Rotary as well. And we strongly believe in collaboration with other clubs. We organize public relations activities on a district level, and also organize training and development for all Rotaractors around District 7030. So it's not just me, I have a whole district team behind me as well, and this is what we do every year.
Well said, Justin, well said. So let's talk a little bit about conference. Conference being held in Tobago. Is it the first time that conference is being held in Tobago? What can persons look forward to?
Okay, it's not the first time that conference was held in Tobago. Conference was held here in 2012, but it's back again to the beautiful shores of Tobago, and I'm really happy to say that. So as I mentioned earlier, we are a part of District 7030, and once a year, all the clubs within District 7030, all 45 clubs come together in one country to host a conference. What we do in this conference is provide training opportunities for our Rotaractors, and we come together and do one large community service project that would benefit the country that we're in. Last year we went to Barbados, and this year we are coming to the beautiful shores of Tobago, and I'm so happy that all the Rotaractors will be joining us in Tobago. What can Tobago expect from conference? Okay, so we recently concluded the 7th Annual Caribbean Youth Summit, and our Rotaract conference is very similar in that nature, where we'll have 4 days of training, 4 days where Caribbean leaders and Rotaractors will meet, and they will go through trainings like planning sustainable projects, effective communication, and all those types of training opportunities. So we're really excited to launch that in Tobago. And it's not just for Rotaractors, let me just put that out there. Other youth groups can reach out to us to come to our training programs. Other youth that are interested in some of the training that we offer can come to our summit.
Okay, definitely sounds interesting. I mean, opportunities for networking, I think that's very, very important because, as you said, you have 45 countries coming into one space. So that's a lot of opportunities.
A lot of opportunities for tourism as well.
Exactly, most definitely. So how can you join Rotaract? How do you become a member of the Rotaract Club of Tobago or Rotaract in general?
All right, so every Rotaract club has a different criteria on how to join the club. For Rotaract Tobago, you have to attend 3 consecutive meetings and you have to execute a project, whether professional development or community service. We are very big on creating leadership opportunities. So in order to become a Rotaractor, we must see that you can identify a problem, and not only identify that problem, but create a sustainable solution in the form of a sustainable project. So when you have passed that, then you are a member of the beautiful club of Rotaract Tobago.
Okay, wonderful. And in terms of the dates for conference, venues, how can persons reach out to you all?
I will allow my co-chair Kivan to respond to that.
Yeah, so the dates are the 22nd of June to the 26th of June. We will be hosted at the Magdalena Grand Hotel Resort, and you can reach out to the district through the different social media channels. We have a website also, conference2023.rotaract7030.org. So you can see more information, you can sign up, and you can reach out to any of us because, you know, Rotaract people are very personable. So, you know, you can approach us, you can message, you can ask all the questions. But yeah, we're very welcoming. We're happy to have other groups. You know, we really do think it's a transformative experience, you know, because like Justin, I've been in Rotaract for a long time, and, you know, we've been going to conferences. I'm not sure if you went to the conference in 2012 in Tobago, you probably did, but I came right after. Which was in 2013 in Suriname. And, you know, I would say this is such a great experience to like meet people and see the kind of scale of projects that people do, and really get to understand how big the organization is and how many things that we are able to throughout the years at these auditories, you know. So definitely you can reach out to us, you can reach out through the different Rotaract channels, and yeah, you could definitely get more information and sign up.
Okay, and the conferences in Tobago this year, it was in Barbados last year. How did COVID affect conference? Was there a conference in 2020? Was there no conference? How are you all incorporating technology into this year's conference? Are you taking a hybrid approach? Some persons virtual, some persons in person? How will that work?
COVID affected the conference really bad for me because we were supposed to have a joint conference with the clubs in Jamaica, and I booked my ticket to go to Jamaica ready to experience that would have been my first conference, and then there was the entire COVID lockdown, and that left Rotaractors really sad because that was supposed to be one of our biggest conferences. After COVID, we had the first conference after the lockdown, which was in Barbados, which was excellent. Rotaractors were now getting back into that conference vibe. And so Tobago is really to just bring Rotaractors out again, because that is who we are. We are very personable people, as past DRR Kivan said. We like to network, we like to be personable. In terms of a hybrid approach to conference, we are planning to have the first day of conference as one part being virtual and one part being in person. So Rotaractors can still log on to experience that first day of conference. But we really want to have that in-person touch again. Yeah.
Okay, and I know that later on in the week you will be coming back to speak a little bit about the district governor's visit to Tobago.
Yes.
But for right now, can you tell us about some of the projects that your club would have engaged in throughout the year so far? What can the district governor expect to see if persons decide to tag along to some of the service projects? What can they expect?
Okay, let me just say that we are planning to welcome the DG and the DRR Justin to Tobago. They are coming in on the island later this evening, and we are happy to welcome them. Some of the projects that we would have done throughout the year are keeping seniors connected, and I'm very proud of that project because one of my Rotaractors would have identified a problem with seniors being left out of the technology world, and we decided, what can we do about that? And we partnered with Republic Bank, and we had a online bank training for seniors, and they really enjoyed that. They really love that, and that is some of the projects that we do. Ongoing, we have a literacy class for students in primary school. We're just encouraging students to read, and we partnered with the Kiwanis Club of Scarborough to do that. So Rotaract Tobago is all about collaborations. We want to invite more groups, community groups, youth groups to partner with us, because we believe that in doing it together, we could target so much more and we could impact so much more people. What's ongoing for Rotaract? So we have our fundraiser, because we are an independent club. So we have a breakfast sale, and you can contact me to participate in that. We also have upcoming our anti-bullying school tour, and we are starting at Plymouth Anglican Primary School. So to the students at Plymouth Anglican Primary School, see you on Friday. Rotaract Tobago will be there along with our DRR and DG and a host of other Rotaractors and Rotarians. So we look forward to a lot in the upcoming year.
Okay, and as we close off, Justin, as mentioned before, he's the district Rotaract representative. Justin will be visiting Tobago this weekend along with the district governor. Can you tell us what you're expecting? What are you excited to see when you get to Tobago?
Well, you know, I'm a regular visitor to Tobago, and I love Tobago. You know, Tobago is as you all say, is the capital of paradise. So I love coming over there. I'm excited to meet with the Rotaract Club of Tobago and the Rotary Clubs of Tobago, just to see what projects that they have been doing, also to plan and execute the district plans, to help them plan and execute the district plans that we have for the rest of the year. And making sure that we you know, that the clubs are doing what they need to do to track and measure their progress, and make sure that, you know, we are successful for the rest of the year. But I'm very excited. I'll be there this afternoon until Sunday, and it will be a good time.
All right, and how has your country visits been so far? Everything working out all right? A lot of networking opportunities, I can imagine. I mean, it's a very exciting position. Very, very exciting, because you get to travel so much, you get to meet so many new people. What has that experience been like?
Yes, a lot of traveling opportunities. it is a bit hectic, but you know, at the end of the day, you get to travel, you get to see new cultures, you get to network with Rotaractors from around the district, and what I find is amazing, you get to see the amazing projects that clubs are doing, and I've asked clubs to think big this year, and clubs are definitely doing that. There are the issues that we deal with, and that's really one of the main purposes of me going over there, to look at those issues and to help solve any issues that clubs may be having. But at the end of the day, it is a really great experience. I've been to about 9 countries so far, and I have the other 8 to do before June. Today I'll be going to Tobago next week. I'll be going to Guadeloupe, and in February, Martinique. March, we go to Guyana, and so forth.
Busy schedule, and it sounds extremely fun. So thank you so much, Brittany, Justin, and Kevan, for joining us this morning. And viewers, be sure to look out for the Rotaract District 7030 conference happening right here in Tobago in June. So at this time, we'll be taking a short break, and we'll be right back. Please remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Scary. Yeah. Jesus Christ, mother walk, look at people behavior. Yeah. We getting on bad, we up in your area. Yeah. When you see we coming, you know it's danger. Yeah. We better than you and all of your neighbor. Yeah. And we no afraid nothing. We no afraid, we no afraid, we no afraid nothing. We no afraid, we no afraid, we no afraid nothing. And we no afraid, we no afraid.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry, if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show. On this segment, we will be highlighting the 7th Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit that took place right here in Tobago. The theme for this event was adding global value, taking charge of your future. In this summit, we would have had many delegates participating from many Caribbean islands such as Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, and even Trinidad and Tobago, just to name a few. On set, we have with us someone who is no stranger to us here on Tobago Updates, one of the original youth hosts, none other than Janae Campbell. A special morning to you, Janae, and how are you doing?
To be honest, Mr. Lutrim, I am quite lethargic, but it's also a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Janae. The pleasure is always to have such a familiar face back on set. So, Janae, we would have had the pleasure of being able and selected to host the Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit. How was that entire experience for you?
To be honest, I felt very distinguished. I felt very privileged to not only host this event, but also be a part of what I will call as a revolutionary event. I am very dedicated and serious about youth development and youth work and youth involvement. So having this summit being held in Tobago, I think, is a distinguished privilege that we were afforded. And I'm very grateful to the Caribbean Regional Youth Council for deciding to come to Tobago.
Excellent, Janae. And, you know, we spoke about all the privileges we would have had. And to add to that, even if the summit wasn't good enough, we would have then given another privilege to interact with the delegates at the hotel at Green Palm. And, you know, we would have met so many different cultures. So tell us, how was that mixing pot of cultures, the true Caribbean essence? How was that for you at the Green Palm Hotel interacting with the delegates?
The entire experience, I would say, was quite surreal. We and the Caribbean are very dynamic and engaging people. I think that this summit was a summit with a difference. It was very engaging, very lively. We saw opportunities where persons from the different Caribbean islands came up, they danced, they expressed stuff about their country and marketed their country. And let me shout out that young lady from Signal Hill Secondary who represented Trinidad and Tobago really well. She gave a very good description of our island, and I think that this event is something that more young persons should become interested in and attend in the future. And I hope that sometime in the future, other young persons may be able to go to other Caribbean islands, apart from Trinidad and Tobago, and experience something similar.
Okay, thank you very much, Zani. So the theme was taking global, it's taking action, something like that, adding global value, taking charge of your future. You know, it was a lot for me to memorize. But what does that theme mean to you? What does that whole theme for this summit mean to you?
To me, that theme means getting involved, becoming engaged as young persons. We need to be represented well. We need to make our voices be heard. So when they say adding global value, to me, it means increasing your presence and ensuring that young persons are actively involved in development of not only their countries, but the wider world. And also, as it speaks to taking charge of our future, we have to remember that, you know, these are some sentiments that were echoed in the summit that, you know, I would hold dear to my heart when someone had mentioned that we are not the future as young persons. We are the now. So it is now for us to take up that responsibility and ensure that we fight for our rights and ensure that we take up space, ensure that we are present, we are active, and we are doing all that needs to be done as young persons within any community, within any country.
Excellent, Jenny. And this summit had so many sessions. We had people like Dr. Faith B. Israel. We had Senator, remind me of her name, Senator...
I'm terrible with names.
Terrible. I even
all I know, her name begins with R.
Yes.
And she's very dynamic and a very engaging speaker.
Oh, yes,
I really enjoyed her presentation in particular.
It was very down to, and her name is Senator the Honorable Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal, and she was a minister in the office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Legal Affairs. And Johnny should have left us with a very powerful quote, because oftentimes we see here in Tobago space a lot of young people, when they are given certain titles or even access to power, it sometimes changes their character. And she would have, reminded us to be humble and left us with a quote that power doesn't change you, it exposes you. And I know that quote would have resonated with so many people from the summit and in the summit. So what key takeaway did you take from her keynote presentation?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that quote, but the inspiration that she gave to me in particular was when she was speaking about law, because she was emphasizing that, a lot of persons are saying that this degree or this area of study is so saturated, why get into law? And then she said that one of her lecturers at the time told her that, yes, it's saturated, but not at the top. If your aim is to get at the top, if your aim is to soar and fly among the eagles, then you would not really be concerned with all that is taking place on the ground level. And so while I may not be doing law, I think these words were very inspirational, because no matter what you do, the aim is to get to the top. Well, at least my aim is to get to the top. So sometimes we concern ourselves with what is what is happening around us so much that we lose focus of our real vision. And if our vision is to get to the top, overcome all the obstacles, and really excel, then we will do just that and focus on that, work towards that, keep your mission in mind, and you will excel. So I really enjoyed that particular point that she raised, as well as her entire presentation, because it was so engaging.
Yes, it was really, really excellent. And, she, even after she would have interacted with Kaylee and I, left us positive words, and just her energy, you could tell that she really has a passion for the elevation of youths in the Trinidad and Tobago space. And, we want to just thank her for joining us on that excellent summit. Johnny, so throughout this summit, did you meet anyone? Who did you meet throughout this entire summit?
Well, as a participant in this summit, I met a lot of young persons across the Caribbean. So I want to especially shout out to Shana. Oh, yes. I want to shout out Roshana from Barbados. I want to shout out Everton Rattray. And he's a part of the Commonwealth Youth Council. I met a lot of other young persons as well, even from Trinidad. I met Samantha, who is the vice something in the Trinidad Youth Council. These are just a few names. If I missed you, don't take it to heart. But I really enjoyed that experience. And Luke, I'm sure you met a lot of other persons as well.
And I would have prepared a slideshow, because I'm extra like that. So firstly, who do we have up on our slideshow? Let's see who's gonna pop up on the screen under the people that I met. And Johnny, it was so much. It was so much.
Yes, it was indeed a lot.
So much. Oh, so firstly, this is my friends from Turks and Caicos. So we have Ariel Neely and Leo Lightborn. Listen, they had so much class. They were so down to earth, and I really liked interacting with them. So shout out to you two. Who's next on the slideshow? Ooh, I met Adriel Wheeler. Tobago's very own Adriel Wheeler. He was a panelist in one of these sessions. So it's really good to see that all Tobago youths are excelling. Next we have, yes, this is Jeremy Baptiste. And Johnny, looking at him here, he looks so small, but he actually packs a punch, because he's an attorney at law. So yes,
I just learned that.
Yeah, you just learned that. So Jeremy, a special morning to you next on our list. Well, you just mentioned him, Everton Ratter. He did a session where he was speaking about the importance of partnerships for us as young people. He told us the importance of, building your brand, the importance of networking, the importance of just having your business there to heart and giving it all you can. So Everton, a special morning to you. My favorite. So this is another attorney, I should add. This is Alicia Ramdal. So we would have started interacting at the hotel, and she was so humble, so down to earth. But despite all of that, she still had that gravitas. So Alicia, special morning to you. You know you have a special place in my heart. Now this is my, I don't want to call them the stranded friends, but these were the ones that were left behind in Tobago. And you know, I want to shout out the landlord Joe Field, as he would have assisted them to make sure that the transfer to Trinidad was as smooth and stress-free as possible. So we have Tihelia Melanie, we have Savion McFadden, we have my girl Shanique in the back there. So Shanique and Savion are from Jamaica. Tihelia is from Trinidad, and then we have Dwight Ward. Now, Dwight would have been the lone person from, can't remember his country, I think it's Guyana. I think I have the flag next to his name, either Guyana or Grenada, one of the G's, but I can't remember. But it was really great experience interacting with them. Who's next? Keon Cunningham, you know, some people know him as a guy from TikTok. I don't know if you recognize his face from TikTok, Chani.
No, I have not.
Okay, so this guy is always all over TikTok here on Cunningham, and he would have sat on another session and he gave some really excellent points. And next on our list, we have, oh God, like I meet everybody in this summit, boy. Whew, Jesus.
And you're really good with names.
But I'm not done. I have so much more from Barbados, my friends from St. Lucia. I wonder what's going on. We have to wait for them pictures to come up, but we're gonna wait for the pictures to come up because I have to shout them out. Cough, Drew. But Johnny, you know, interacting with these Caribbean delegates, it was such a great experience. It was a great experience, and you know, the beauty of all this is that they were able to experience what we call here in Tobago the Crumb Point Juve.
Yes, I think that in all our efforts to fight for youth development, there must be some aspect of enjoyment, some fun, some diversion. So I really like the fact that not only did we have the island tour that was facilitated by the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Transportation, but we also went to the Crown Point area and introduced them to some of the popular liming spots. Shout out to places like Up Top, Asha, Jade Monkey, because they really enjoyed karaoke at Jade Monkey on a Wednesday night. So viewers, if you've seen it, just know that Jade Monkey on a Wednesday is a pub, and then to me, Up Top is always a vibe.
Up Top is always a vibe. Oh, my friends again. Oh God, I meet everybody. So first, we have Alvanique Frank from Anguilla. She was the lone person from Anguilla. Right next to her, we have Jakeem George. Oh my God, so much names. I'm choking on the names, Johnny, help me. And right next to him, we have Gavel from Grenada. And interacting with them was so amazing. Who do we have next? Right, so we did a trip. Some went to the east, some went to the west. And this is a trip on the west here when we were on the Boca Reef. And in this picture, we have Terry. Now, Terry is from Trinidad, and she also holds a position on the TYC executive. So shout out to you, Terry. Next to her, we have Atiba Roberts. Atiba Roberts, he would have done all the graphic designs for most of the graphics we would have shown throughout the summit. And next to him, we have Samantha. Samantha is my darling Samantha. And right next to Samantha, we have none other than Javon. Javon is a youth journalist just like us from Jamaica. And this is us here enjoying the vibe at the Boca Reef. Now, I wonder if we're going to be able to show the viewers our experience, or Crown Point Juve experience.
You know what was interesting? Some of the delegates from the region also went to Barcode for I Love Soca series.
Oh, and they made front page.
They made front page of the Tobago Newsday papers. So you can tell, my God.
So this is all waterfed at Asha. Now, the delegates love the Crown Point vibe. We were just here vibing, enjoying ourselves, you know, despite the police parking up on the opposite side of the road, because, you know, we were just so loud and energetic. You can see that they are happy here. They are enjoying themselves. So, wow.
You know what was interesting? After the summit, I received feedback from persons saying that they love Tobago, they love the vibe, they love the experience, they love the beauty. So I think opportunities like these are also avenues to expand our tourism product. So I think we can emphasize and you know, support such
Yes.
initiatives in the future.
And you know, Johnny, I would have woke up to so many texts from many of the delegates saying, oh God, I'm having Tobago, they're having a Tobago, and they are so eager to come back to Tobago. So I know, Johnny, we did our job well. We'd have hosted them well. And all in all, how will you rate this summit?
I will rate, I don't like number scales. I don't. However, all in all, I would say that this summit was very enlightening. It was very engaging, and I would say it was productive because it was not just about fun, enjoyment, and talking. There were actual action labs that were set up where young persons got the opportunity to give their suggestions on issues affecting youth, and these suggestions, or I would say these action items, will then be further utilized by the Caribbean Regional Youth Council to come up with initiatives and programs. So I hope that CRIC would now take up the initiative to utilize the information that they receive from this summit to further youth development in the Caribbean. So just on that premise, I would say that this was a successful event.
And you know, we have to give a huge shout out to Miss Sandra Orr, program coordinator at the Division of Tourism. You know, she came and visited us before we went on the tour, and she was so happy to be a part of this summit. So Miss Orr, a special morning to you, and thank you for all the work and the effort that you would have given throughout this entire summit to make it a success, Johnny. Wow. Ooh, right. So I don't know if we resemble in this picture, but this is a young lady from Barbados. And you know, when I met her, she was fierce, she was articulate, she was powerful, she was outspoken. And then talking to her, I would have realized that her last name is Trim. I said, oh, but it makes sense now. So this is Roshana Trim from Barbados. It was such an excellent honor to meet you. You know, we have so much similarities in our personality, and we just clicked immediately. So Roshana, a special morning to you. And Johnny, I think I covered everything. I'm out of breath from calling all those names and countries.
I must commend you because I couldn't do it. I know the faces, but I'm not good at names. I'm really not.
So, Johnny, I just want to thank you for, you know, returning back to familiar grounds. You know, the prodigal daughter has returned today.
Why you call it prodigal? Because prodigal makes it sound like I just run away.
Well, to me, you just disappear. But it's good that you're back. It's always good to come back here at Tobago Update. So, Johnny, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. It was an excellent segment, viewers. I know you're familiar, but we have to tell the viewers to do. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable. Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show. To them once again, they better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better this is your show. More, live more.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Welcome to Lamarge Parfait Day Spa and Wellness Center, your premier spa experience located at Bonaccord, Tobago. Visit us today for facials, cellulite treatments, body contours, body treatments, pedicures, manicures, and much more. We have gift cards for all occasions and corporate events. Connect with us on Facebook at Lamarge Parfait Day Spa or call us 273-7772.
Scary. Yeah, boom. Jesus Christ, mother walk. Look at people behavior. Yeah, we getting on bad, we up in your area. Yeah, when you see we coming, you know it's danger. Yeah, we better than you and all of your neighbor. Yeah, and we no afraid nothing. We no afraid, we no afraid, we no afraid nothing. We no afraid, we no afraid, we no afraid nothing. How we no afraid, we no afraid.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry if your nice car get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Rest assured helped me to cope with the unexpected, provides financial help for final expenses. Rest assured, the affordable financial comfort plan, Tatil Life, guaranteed protection. Whole Life helps me secure their future, provides financial protection with added benefits. Whole Life, the affordable financial benefits plan, Tatil Life, guaranteed protection.
Welcome. It's Christmas time at Lamarge Parfait Day Spa.
Was a while before Christmas and
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Socialize is yeah. Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Tobago.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
It's so much man, good day. Socialize.
Socialize!
Socialize! 27th of January. Look for where?
with a smile on your face. When you're moving from place
Good
to
morning
place.
and welcome back to
Good
the Tobago
morning.
Updates Youth Morning Show. Now, there's a famous quote we all hear that says we all have the same 24 hours, something that most professionals use to motivate people to push harder. On set, we have with us no stranger here on Tobago Updates, Miss Abini Taylor, to tell us how us, as teens and youths, can maximize our 24 hours. A special morning to you, Miss Taylor, and how are you doing?
Je vais très bien, very good. Estoy bien, and I am very happy to be here. It is always a pleasure.
The pleasure is yours, Miss Taylor. So, a little birdie would have told me that this maximizing 24 hours is nothing new, that this probably would have happened already.
Yes, we would have had the one for adults, maximizing my 24 hours. And now we are doing one for teens and preteens called Maximizing My 24 Hours with the title, Time Wasted Cannot Be Regained.
So what would have motivated you to shift the focus now to youths and teens?
From parents flooding my inbox on social media, whether it be on Facebook, on Instagram, saying, Abini, you need to do one for children because I don't think my daughter hearing, my daughter not listening, not balancing their time. I think they need to hear from someone else, not in a school setting, because as you know, I am a teacher. And being a teacher, we educate formally, but we also allow students to understand, you know, you need to push, you need to do this. But they're in a school setting, everybody telling them this thing, you say, you know what? They will make it into an event. Children like events. I think they're probably tired of just running to a movie tongue or going here. Imagine having a social event, an all-inclusive, and you are going to benefit from this because we are going to target various aspects that we think as the panelists that are very important for our teens' development and growth. And of course, you're not hearing it from mommy or daddy or auntie. You're hearing it from quote-unquote strangers.
Strangers?
Yes.
So what I'm gathering from this whole event or this whole session, not even call it a session, but this package, let me call it a package.
Yes.
This whole package is that you are going to be making development and growth fun and enjoyable and memorable.
Correct.
Wow. So what can we expect? What can people who are interested can expect from this package?
We are making it very interactive because some of the panelists are no strangers to the Tobagonian populace, persons such as Melissa Alexis Guy, Mr. Alan Morrison, Miss Brittany Romeo. We are the four main speakers and we're going to have it very immersive. We are going to be interacting with the students. We are not going to be like on a stage and speaking to them, but we're going to have like huddles of four, because four speakers and we're doing a rotation kind of vibe. We're speaking about self-esteem, finding a balance, knowing that even if you waste time, time is still moving. Your parents investing in you, and we know to whom much is given, much is expected. Because they've probably been hearing these things before, but to hear it in a social like kind of context and to have persons motivating you, know, of course we have giveaways, so there's also motivation. And encouraging them that this investment that your parents and ourselves are making in you, we want to see you become the best version of you. Because at the end of the day, you have to account for you. You need to become more academically responsible. You need to be more responsible with regard to balancing your social life and your academic life, because we know, I'm a Libra, so I always talk about balance. Life is about balance, period. That's it.
That's on per.
Yes, that's on per.
So for parents, teachers, and guardians who are interested in registering their charges in this package, how can they get into contact with you?
They can call the number 735-0060 or 305-8404 to have your ticket purchased, or you can visit the foreign language bookstore in Canby, Tobago, or even have your tickets delivered to you. And there is the parent-student package. Although the cost of the ticket is $200 per student, the student-parent package costs $350. And of course, it's an all-inclusive event. You will have eats and drinks, some very famous caterers. A famous caterer, rather.
Lovely, Miss Taylor. Any last words you want to leave for your potential participants?
We want you to be there. We want you to have a good time. You will be socializing. There will be music. It will be a very soft atmosphere at the Healing Garden located in Mount Pleasant, Tobago. It will not be rigid or strict. However, we want you to come. We want you to learn how you can maximize your 24 hours and amplify all that you have been doing. And we want to keep it on the positive side. You can accomplish anything that you want to do. Whatever is in your mind, once the thought processes start, come on, believe me, you can bring it into fruition.
Lovely, Miss Taylor. So I want to thank you for doing the usual and joining us this morning. Nothing new. And I really hope that parents, everyone who heard this, will be interested in this excellent package. So viewers, we have reached the end of the segment. And I know for some people that would be lost, remind them of the course is $200.
Yes, $200 per student child. or teen rather, because it's for preteens and teens. And the parent teen package will be $350. As I remind you, it's an all-inclusive event. You can see the packages on our Facebook pages. You can find me on Facebook at Abeni Taylor, and you will see all the information that you need. Or, llamen por favor, call me.
Wow. Affordable, easily accessible, and it's the place to be. So viewers, from Rotaract to maximizing the 24 hours and even the CYLS recap, this morning's show was excellent. So I want to thank you all for joining us, and thank you again for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. Now we're going to wrap up. Now I'm going to head over to Good Morning Tobago with Candice Jackson. But before we go, what we have to tell them is Taylor to share the live.
Share the live.
Share the live. Share the live. We'll be right back.
The two main concerns for me were how this surgery would affect my ability to urinate, and also how do I cope with sex, because two common side effects of the surgery were urinary incontinence and erectile dysfunction. I recall talking with my mother and telling her about these areas of concern, and her comments were that I had had enough sex in my life already, and so that area was not an issue.
Surviving prostate cancer is just one of the many experiences John Arnold shares with the world in his memoir, Tobago's Son. Mr. Arnold penned the book alongside veteran journalist, editor, and author Lisa Allen Agostini. The book chronicles Mr. Arnold's life and major points in his career, from his recollections of Hurricane Flora in 1963, his passion for music, his teaching career, his connections with the Signal Hill Alumni Choir, to his involvement in various culinary, cultural, and musical events on the island. This 64-year-old writer says it was strange holding his own book for the first time.
The manuscript, which is like your computer, is completely different to when you have this in your hand. And you're watching all the pictures, and this is the book, you know. So I have to tell you, that was a surreal moment. It was really something else to hold the book in my hand, take it out, and actually, you know, and start to read, and you almost didn't believe, hey, this is what you actually said in those interviews.
Two book launch events were held, one in Trinidad, the other in Tobago. Mr. Arnold appreciates the support he's received from various people. He says the book is meant to motivate and inform readers about his experiences.
I'm really glad that the people who have read the book have given me some interest in Dr. MacDonald said something that was very, I think, so far is the best. You know, he says that it made him understand my contribution to Tobago so much more. And he says it is definitely a testimony of history, culture, anthropology, sociology, and innovation. He says he will recommend this to anybody.
Tobago's Son is available on Amazon. You also have the option to purchase a hard copy from John Arnold himself. Just call 751-5027. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Wake up with Candace and Denise here. Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion
up and hail my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candace Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. There will be mass on the road for Carnival 2023 in Tobago. Tobago Festivals Commission CEO John Arnold made the announcement yesterday at the official media launch of the mother of all carnivals. Tobago band leaders threatened to boycott Carnival if their allocation of $1.3 million was not increased. However, Arnold said the band leaders had a change of heart and promised to produce mass despite no change to the budget. 32 bands are expected to be on display. In other news, for the first time, raspberries are growing in Tobago. The berries are grown in special greenhouses constructed by Berry Cove Limited at the Cove Eco Industrial Park. The raspberry is the first of several berry plants to bear fruit after being planted as an experiment to see if the fruits could be produced in Trinidad and Tobago. Earlier in the week, the Berry Cove Limited team also posted on social media that the first blackberry flowers were already popping out of the plants after only a month of being planted in the plugs. The venture is expected to help reduce imports as the locally grown berries would cut out the number of fruit imported for consumption. And nationally, Christine Kangaloo officially resigned as a government senator and Senate president on Tuesday. As a result of her resignation, a new president of the Senate will need to be elected. The Senate sits later this morning, where the election is expected to take place. Meanwhile, Kangaloo is the government's nominee for president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Electoral College will meet in Parliament on Friday to elect a new president of the country. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Well, viewers, over the past few weeks, we've been hearing a lot of talk on the ground about what's been happening in our economy, how politics, the fallout between Chief Secretary Fali Augustine and the PDP political leader, Mr. Watson Duke, is affecting our economy and so on. So to get us a little perspective, or sort of a different perspective on what's been going on the ground, and really the relationship between politics and the economy, we have none other than Ms. Chanel Crawford on with us, and she is the CEO and founder of Strategic Business Solutions Caribbean. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody.
All right, great. So first of all, I wanted to introduce yourself a little bit more, give us an idea of what the Strategic Business Solutions Caribbean is all about here.
Okay, sure. So my name is Chanel Crawford. I have a company, and the name of the company is Strategic Business Solutions Caribbean. It started in 2015, and very simply, people will ask me, do you do business plans? Do you do cash flow projections? Do you do business letters? And it evolved from there. So what I basically do is consulting. We've extended our services to include financial accounting and management accounts. And we do also stuff like data analytics. I mean, pretty much anything under the umbrella of accounting and finance we cover.
Some of the tough topics within our land.
Yes.
All right. So, excuse me. One of the things that we've been hearing a lot is that what's going on in the politics is affecting our private sector. I mean, what is your take on this matter?
Well, I think it's affecting everything, if we really be honest. One of the things that we all need to recognize is that we have a generation that's coming after us.
Yes.
Right? We are on our way out. I mean, we might be young people now, but to be honest, there's always a younger generation. And What we need to get past is the party politics and focus on the fact that our children and our children's children are the future, and that all our decisions impact them. And we need to make decisions that are in their interests and stop focusing on whether I am PNM or whether I'm PDP or whether I'm UNC, and think about the future. Yeah.
Now, I mean, what have you been seeing? Because, I mean, you're someone that's very much integrated, and you're seeing what's going on below the surface where the economy is concerned. You know, I mean, of course, you're dealing with a lot of businesses and their accounts, and, you know, what has been popping up for you these last few months, especially as with everything that's been going on the political front?
Well, it's very evident to me that when we make decisions, we don't sit down and do a cost-benefit analysis. For every decision that is made, we need to say, well, okay, yes, we want to hold, for example, Tobago Carnival. All right, so we go through what you call a SWOT analysis. We assess the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. But we also assess the cost versus the benefit. So if the cost outweighs the benefits, we might need to reconsider as to whether or not this is a worthwhile investment. And I don't think we do that enough for any of the events that we hold at all. We just decide we're going to hold an event and we're going to spend, but we don't consider how are we putting this money back into the coffers. And that is what we need to focus on.
You know, with the analysis of Carnival and so on, we have the people from the THA. They're saying that, hey, you know, Carnival did benefit our businesses here in Tobago, and you know, there was that great spend. So from your work, did you see that with businesses that should have benefited?
Well, there will always be some level of benefit, but the question is, was it enough? Right? Yes, a few businesses may have prospered. The supermarkets definitely would have prospered. Some of our local vendors would have prospered, etc. However, it really comes back to what I just said. When we assess the bigger picture, if we spend $17 million, are we going to get back $34 million? When a business starts a grocery, for example, a grocery doesn't buy a product for $8 and sell it back for $8. So we always want to triple or double our income. So again, we need to come back to that, to pen and paper, do a SWOT analysis, and assess the cost benefit of every event that we hold.
Okay, sorry about that. When you look at what is on the table right now, for, you know, just the plans that were uttered by the Chief Secretary, who is also the Secretary of Finance, in terms of, you know, just the direction that he wants to take the economy forward. And, you know, are you seeing that we have any return coming in the near future from some of these investments?
Yes and no. So I will speak first to tourism. In my opinion, note well Tobago and the world, in my humble opinion, tourism is a dead sector. And we keep selling the dream that tourism is the way forward. If we go back in the annals of history, we've been trying to make tourism work for a very, 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 very long time. And the spend versus the return is definitely not comparable. So what I think we need to refocus our attention on is, where is our true strength? Is it agriculture? Is it what you call Tadco and these people? Is it these products where we're able to have cottage industries and we're able to create products for export? You know, we need to refocus the energy, because tourism, we just haven't mastered it. Jamaica has, St. Lucia has, we haven't. And to think that we're going to continue to just pour money into a dark hole where the return isn't worth the investment is a bad idea, in my humble opinion.
Okay. Now we see, as you mentioned, Tadco, we see Tadco being the only division that has been been generating some bit of revenue. When we see the capital paradise go out, they come back with fish that they're able to sell on the international market, bring in some foreign exchange. And then we're also seeing some other business ventures from Tadco that seem to be, getting out there and seem to be generating some sort of attention and so on. What are your views on that? Like, do you think that, it's been, they're going in the correct direction where that's concerned?
I think it's excellent. I think what Tadco is doing is wonderful. It's really beautiful to watch the products that are coming out of our island and the class of the what you call it, the shows that they put on, the expos. So I think Tadco is definitely something that Tobago should continue to invest in, because we have excellent products here that people want, and people want it just in a nice package well. And even if it's a fudge, a nice package makes all the difference. You know how you dress up nice today, Candace? If you came here in your nightie, nobody would pay attention to you. So whenever you go to do something, you have to package it well. And Tadco has mastered that whole notion. They have mastered, I would say, the whole concept of what export should look like. And I think they should continue to invest heavily in Tadco, yes.
Now, one of the challenges that we face here in Tobago is that of, we have 60,000 people on the island, which means that there's a limited pool of people that we can depend on. And it is one of the challenges that the private sector faces. How do we move past, the actual numbers, or the pool that we could reach into to basically, get the economy going or generate a greater level of profit?
I mean, it's really simple, all right? There are people in the forefront, yes, but there are businesses, small businesses and medium businesses every way that wish somebody will come to them and invest in them. And if you walk through every mall, from Port Mall, from this mall, to the more Penny Savers Mall, to even all the small shops in Store Bay, and you would observe many, many small, I would have to say connoisseurs, because these people are excellent at what they do. And if they get the investment into their business, then they could also become part of Tadco, and we could cause all this to evolve into greater export. So focus on developing the small businesses, and maybe that takes a level of business development where we actually go out and reach out to them. I met somebody earlier, not too long ago, and where she is, she has an excellent product. It's a smoothie shop. But the issue is there's not enough foot traffic where she is. So if there's not enough foot traffic, then you can't pay your rent. And if you can't pay your rent, then you can't survive as a small business person. So what we need to do is expand our business development efforts, find these businesses that need just a helping hand, and bring them into Tadco and expand our exports to the region and the world.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to leave it right there because we are turning in now. Thank you for being on with us,
Sure.
Mr. Del Crawford.
No
But
problem.
I mean, you brought us some interesting points that we should develop at a later point. But now we're going to move straight into Mr. Alan Stewart, the director of TEMA, who is on the line with us. And he's going to be talking to us about a drill that's going to be happening at the A&R Robinson Airport today. So good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Stewart.
Good morning, Candice. Good to hear you this morning. I trust that all is well on the island. And of course, we will be participating in this, long-standing arrangements that we have with the Airport Authority of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, they will be exercising their plan today. And TEMA plays a very integral part in that plan. And therefore, the plan is up for evaluation and to update it and things like that. So we'll be exercising that plan today at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 12 today.
So what can people expect? So for those who might need to be traveling to Trinidad or wherever else, what can they expect to see at the airport later?
Well, you said what they expect to see. First of all, I think it is my responsibility to let all know that the airport will be closed. Well, what can be expected? The airport will be closed for approximately 2 hours. That is to facilitate a very imperative function of the running of airports around the world, where you have to conduct the Trinidad and Tobago airport. We exercise or that facility at least twice or every 2 years. And it is imperative that they do so for their international license and requirement. And therefore, it allows for the possibility of an event taking place at the airport where you have a mass casualty event that will require first responders to respond to it. This exercise allowed for that to happen. So at the airport this morning, during that closure, a number of first responders will be responding. The emergency route will be activated, and that leads from Bacalet to down the Claude Noel Highway. You will swing onto Stumpies, that intersection of the Stumpies, go down the Storby Local Road, and we will enter into that space for the exercise. The media, I understand, will not be invited to the exercise itself based on the nature of the exercise itself, but I understand that there are arrangements in place for the general information to be passed to the public. It's important to say as well that the early warning system, the outdoors early warning system, will be utilized for this exercise. So you'll be hearing a number of sirens. You'll be hearing these early warning systems going off, advising the public as to what exactly is happening at Crown Point, so the public will be kept abreast. This exercise would allow the first responders, some of which represent the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, a number of them that are stationed here on the island. For example, the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserve. Also, they have prime players, responders as well, from the Trinidad and Tobago. You have the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, who will be managing the traffic in and out from the airport during that period. Along the, there will be several convoys that will be going to the airport. Consists of emergency response team. We ask persons to exercise caution during that period, look out for these vehicles. There are risk factors involved in these full-scale emergency exercises, and therefore we ask for a greater degree of caution while traversing the road today.
All right, great. Now, how does this help, you know, with our authorities and so on, our first responders? How does it help in making sure that we are really ready for whatever emergency comes our way?
Well, certainly, exercises of this nature, full-scale emergency exercise, allow for us to test all aspects of the plan. It's a platform that allows, or a forum that allows the first responders to exercise, simulating that there is a major incident at the airport, and therefore it requires a mass casualty management team to go in, fire suppression, and a number of different responders to participate in it in order for it to function effectively. It is important that we do the necessaries as responders to understand that this is an opportunity for us to exercise our skill. You know, it is said, you know, neuroplasticity really comes into effect by the regular use of a skill. If you are exercising, you will have, probably somebody may have heard me said, you know, that Gary Silver said, perfect practice makes perfect. And therefore, as you do these things over and over, what you're doing, you are providing a platform whereby your personnel can exercise in these type of simulation exercise where there's a degree of realism, and therefore it builds the proficiency level of the first responder and also the institution of it by itself to be able to understand what joint coordination entails. An event of this magnitude, it does not happen every day. All of us are well aware that the airline industry is one of the safest methods of transportation. But when they do have an event, it is most likely catastrophic. And therefore, it is imperative that we understand, even with these irregularities of these events, that when they do occur, we are able to respond effectively. So we will be bringing out certain tools in these exercises, looking at emergency management, crisis emergency management functions. We'll be looking at our notification process. We'll be looking at how persons respond. There will be evaluators and observers to look at what we do, how we do it, look for gaps, areas of improvement, and going forward, we'll be able to upgrade our standings in terms of having an improvement plan going forward as we move further, continues to prepare ourselves for anything that may happen at that level.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Alan Stewart, the director of TEMA. So just giving us a rundown of what's expected today. So if you have to go to the airport this morning from about between 10 and 12, then you will be encountering that exercise going on. But of course, if you hear the warning signals, you hear the alarms, don't be worried, because it's just a drill. And, you know, just make way for the teams to do their job, because of course this is really important, because we never know when we can have an emergency that can pop up at the airport, and we want to make sure that our teams, our first responders, know exactly what they have to do whenever that emergency happens. All right, viewers, so we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to continue with some more political discussions and see what's going on with our space, both in Tobago and in Trinidad. All right, so don't go anywhere. Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, buljoil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this
bliss, accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Well, viewers, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to politics and what's going on both in Tobago and in Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. So we have online with us, I should say, with none other than Dr. Shane Mohammed, who's a geopolitical scientist within our space. Good morning and welcome to you, Dr. Shane.
Good morning, Candace. How are you? Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too, because I guess this is the first time we're speaking for the year.
Yes, it is, but don't worry. I promise to be on set. I know you are excited and you are expecting me to be on set, so don't worry. I'll be there soon.
Great. Now, I mean, we've heard a lot of complaints from the business sector about what's happening in the economy and, you know, how it's as a result of what's happening politically. What is your take on this?
You know, if you had told me that we were in a situation where the government was in crisis and where we were in a situation where there was political instability with regard to the government and in the parliament itself, and that, you know, there was motions pending with regard to no confidence in the Minister of National Security and the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister, then I would say, well, most definitely there are things and cause to be concerned, because, you know, nobody, the notion is in political science that nobody really wants to invest and do business with a country that has political instability, and instability meaning an unstable government. But this is very simple. Nothing that is happening now in our current political space as it pertains to the election of the president warrants concern for political instability. What has happened is that the noise, is what I will say, the noise and the disruption and the different causes for concern is coming from the opposition, and it's because the opposition yet again has not gotten their way, and it's because, you know, I don't think anybody in society expected that the opposition, when Mrs. Bissessa said she has a name and she's holding on to the name and she's not giving the name to anyone, and, well, you know, I think even I expected, well, who was this extraordinary person that she was holding in her back pocket? I thought she would, I say, well, clearly she's nominating herself. And it's again, some, you know, Candice, I find myself having to say the same phrase very often, especially as it pertains to simple things in this country. All of this talk, all of this rumbling, all of this disagreement and all of that is much ado about nothing. Even Senior Counsel Khan said on the Sunday Guardian that he is a sitting duck. He is expecting to lose the election, right? And it is because there was no consensus. And what should have happened is when the opposition and the government met a few weeks ago, it was pertinent that the opposition leader presented Mr. Khan's name at the first opportunity to meet when she met with the Prime Minister.
I was actually going to ask you about that point. I mean, why? Why would she not put that name forward at that meeting? You know, what did she hope to achieve by not doing so?
Would like to think of herself as a political maverick, and we have very few of those in this country. One of which is Dr. Fuad Khan, who is excellent at it. He is not only a medical doctor, but he's also a holder of a master's in marketing, and therefore he understands political marketing very well and political strategy very well. The other one is Mr. Pandey. And Mr. Pandey, he has reached the age where he's allowed to say anything he wants. He's allowed to comment. He's allowed to critique and whatnot. But Mrs. Prasad Bisesa is no uh, no wonder of the imagination, a political maverick. And what she has done, and what she did do, was she did Mr. Khan a great injustice by not putting forward his name when the opportunity came in the discussions with the Prime Minister. It may have had the Prime Minister and the government go, maybe that's a name that we could consider. But when you look at the response of the country as it pertains to Mr. Khan's senior counsel's name as a nomination, the country didn't gravitate towards it. They didn't go, oh, that's an exciting name. That's a fresh. Yes, that's somebody we should go to. They literally said, well, we might as well go with Kangaloo because, the opposition, one, you're too late. You were not quick on the draw. You did not present the man's name at the opportune time. You chose to do it separately and in a divisive manner via press conference. You said you wanted to do it. You wanted to go in there and speak with the government on the notion of consensus. And when the opportunity for consensus came, you did the complete opposite. And it says to me that Mrs. Prasad Bisesa is not serious about matters of state.
How would this matter affect the integrity of the office of the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, especially in the context where, over the past few years, there's been so much controversy surrounding it, where there's this notion among the population that maybe we don't need a president, maybe we don't need a head of state that appears to just be a rubber stamp.
Well, let's start with one thing, right? The notion of Mrs. Kangaloo's nomination and the expected winning of the ballot, the secret ballot, and becoming president-elect, and coming from a partisan place, meaning that she is a political nominee, is a notion that has been already set, and a precedent that has already set in Trinidad and Tobago. And guess who set it? It was set by Mr. Pandey's government, of which Mrs. Prasad Bisesa was a member, and which I can tell you I know. I mean, as political scientists and analysts, we must always be in the know with regard to certain things political and all things political. And there are persons who have said in the past that she vehemently and excitingly accepted Mr. Robinson's nomination for president. And, Mr. Robinson went on to make history as the first Tobagonian to become president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And he came from within the parliament. He was a sitting member of parliament. He was at the point in time, member of parliament for Tobago East and minister extraordinaire, as well as the man that acted as prime minister in the absence of Mr. Pandey. So a precedent has been set where a parliamentarian and a partisan parliamentarian did go on to serve as president of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. That's one. In between 2003 and 2013, Professor George Maxwell Richards, which was also a partisan nominee that came from the Manning administration, Professor George Maxwell Richards was very well known in PNM circles. He was even suggested to be a possible Speaker of the House of Representatives during the 1818 tie. That is no secret. At present, his daughter sits on the executive of the PNM, and his daughter-in-law, Dr. Marian Abdul Richards, who is a very high position within the Ministry of Health as one of the primary medical officers of health under the Chief Medical Officer's office. So, and Mr. President Max Richards served, and he was impartial, and he made statements, and he was known to promote Trinidad Carnival. He had we will all remember Fête de Max, where he had his own fête, and we've all gone to it and we've all enjoyed it, right? And when it came to matters of state, he had his say. He was not a rubber stamp. In fact, there's very little complaint about Max, except that Max liked the fête. So be it. And then we are now here, where we have seen that Miss Kangaloo, and I have to correct everybody, the lady is Miss Kangaloo. She is carrying her maiden name. She is originally a member of the Kangaloo family. She is sister to former Justice of Appeal and acting Chief Justice. Y'all give me forgive me. Say hi to Zoe, my Tobagonian cat. Um, uh, yeah, so Mrs. Kangaloo comes from a very prominent San Fernando family. Her father being one of the first mayor of San Fernando. Her brother, the late Mr. Justice Wendell Kangaloo, was a Justice of Appeal, former acting Chief Justice. Her brother, Colin Kangaloo, is a former temporary judge of the Supreme Court, and her sister-in-law is currently Madam Justice General Madam Justice Nadia Kangaloo. So she comes from a family of very high academic standing and very well known. And if you look at Christine Kangaloo's career in public life, she's spotless. There's no, she has no scandals. And the UNC will argue against that and said, well, yes, there's one where she was the one responsible for firing Joala Rambaran as the governor of the central bank, and where the Privy Council recently ruled that that was illegal. Well, under the Constitution, when the president is advised by the prime minister to remove someone from office or to not renew their contract from office, or however you want to put it, the president has to act. And therein is the other question, Candice. We do need a president. Barbados went the route of a presidency instead of a governor general last year. And, there are other countries that have considered Dominica has a president and a prime minister. And they are almost similar to ours. But you cannot have can you imagine if you had the prime minister as the head of government and a commander-in-chief of the armed forces? We'd be in a police state.
Yeah, so it would be more of an authoritarian state.
Authoritarian state. Good.
Yes.
It would put us in a dangerous precedent. And therefore, if for one reason we need the separation between presidency and prime ministership, is because we don't want to end up in a police state, and we don't want to end up in a situation where the prime minister has executive say and he's accountable to nobody. Now, we do know that the president and the prime minister is required to meet every week, and the prime minister is to apprise the president of the ongoings of the government and the state of the country and what are the situation, the various situations happening. The president asks the prime minister certain questions of which he's required to ask. He's to keep the president in loop as to what is happening. The president is also it's very much like what we see in the Crown. The president expresses to the prime minister his or her disappointment, her concerns, X, Y, and Z, right? And that's a confidential conversation that is kept between the prime minister and the president. Now, as it pertains to what is going to happen today, there's not going to be a sitting of the Senate before Friday, except for today. And today it's a simple procedure. The president of the Senate has put in her resignation as the president of the Senate, so there's a vacancy for the position.
Do you have any ideas of who would they elect? Do you have any inside knowledge, or who would you like to see be elected as the president of the Senate?
I don't have an insight, but what I have is a concept, and one that might be the best concept and the best perspective for the prime minister at this stage. One, I think, is it on Monday? On Monday, yes. I think on Monday we got up to the news that the prime minister had reshuffled his deputies, and he had shuffled out Fitzgerald Hines as a deputy political leader, and he had made Joan Newell Williams, I think, did not get shuffled out, but she would have demitted office and said that she no longer. She's been holding the position of deputy political leader of the PNM since the 1990s. She's a former minister of culture and the arts. she's a former acting prime minister. Joan Williams has served our country in a very exemplary manner, and we thank her for that. With that said, so she opted to demit the office of deputy political leader of the PNM. So that gave rise to 2 vacancies. The Prime Minister, as political leader of the PNM, he has sole discretion in who he chooses as deputy political leaders of his party, and one of which is a few years ago, they made it clear that whoever was the political leader of the Tobago Council would become political leader of one of the political leaders of deputy political leaders of the PNM. Suffice to say that Tracy Davidson Celestin never became a deputy political leader of the PNM, but Ansel Dennis is one of the deputy political leaders. The second deputy political leader is Mr. Rohanson, the Minister of Works
and Transport, yes.
The third deputy political leader is now the Minister of Education, Dr. Nian Gatsby-Dolly. I think it's an excellent choice. I think it shows that the Prime Minister is mixing and he is incorporating youth and new blood into the hierarchy and the higher echelons of the party, which I think will do well for the PNM. Nian Gatsby-Dolly, I think she's a wonderful person. I think she has settled into the role of Minister of Education. I will always say that for me, as an educator and as an academic, we never give 10s. And 9 is a very hard mark to get. So she's within she's still getting between 7 and 8 out of 10. But she can also always do better as Minister of Education in ensuring.
How does this point to who may be elected as
well?
president?
So that's what I'm getting to, right? So here's my notion. Now that Fitzgerald Hines has come out has been removed as a deputy political leader, and you have Nian Gatsby-Dolly inside, you have Rohan in, you have Ansel in, and then you have the 4th deputy political leader boy is
Mr. Rohan
Who is it? We have Rohan Sinanan, Nian Gatsby-Dolly, Ansel Dennis, and there's one more.
I think I might be
whoever,
yes.
right? Yeah, whoever, right? What I think is the smartest thing for the Prime Minister to do is to elevate the Vice President of the Senate, Senator Mohammed Yunus Ibrahim, to the role of President of the Senate, and then take that vacancy that exists and bring in somebody who is competent enough to perform the role as Minister of National Security, and put us in a position where we could have confidence in the national security apparatus and the functioning of an effective Minister of National Security, as pertains to a minister, as opposed to a Minister of National Security who is only about using very large vocabulary words in his speeches and trying to sound intelligent. That's my notion. That's my concept.
No, and as you mentioned, the Minister of National Security, because I mean, this has, this drummed up quite a lot of conversation, especially in a situation where we've seen this huge jump in crime, where the murder rate is so high, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. We're still in a very good position, and we hope to be better this year than we were last year. But it doesn't change the fact that, crime is at an alarming level in Trinidad. But, I mean, and politically, there is that fallout between the public and the Ministry of National Security as to, how the situation is being managed. How should we address this on a political front to sort of save face and to rectify that relationship between the public and the state?
There's only one way to this can be rectified between the public and the state. And I don't understand why it is Dr. Rowley is ignoring the voices of the people. And, we're in Carnival, and I said voices of the people, and I remember Sandra singing that infamous song. But The people requires, and the people, he has to listen to the people. If you're not listening to the media and you're not listening to the opposition, and you think that the media is making a brouhaha out of nothing, and the opposition is just simply a nuisance to you, then the other opportunity and the other option is to listen to the people. And the people of Trinidad and Tobago consistently and continuously say that they want Gary Griffith as the Commissioner of Police. And at the end of the day, the facts and the numbers, regardless of whether or not, or regardless of whether you, Prime Minister, have issues with Gary Griffith, tell me someone you don't have issues with. But at the end of the day, if you are a good chief executive officer, and the one person that you have the most issues with is the one person that gets the job done and keeps your organization in safely, and ensures that the apparatus of national security is safe and sound and calculated and strategic, then what is your problem? Put Gary Griffith, return Gary Griffith as the Commissioner of Police. Do yourself a favor, mend your fences, stop burning bridges, because the country is suffering as a result of your ignorance. And in the flip side, the Prime Minister cannot, I was one of the first persons that said my first choices for president was Christine Kangaloo. Why? Because Christine Kangaloo, with the exception of what the UNC is saying regarding Joala Rambaran, which is the water under the bridge, Joala Rambaran is going to be a very rich man from getting damages from the court. And if you were to sit down and if you were to ask Joala Rambaran today if he wanted to return as Governor General, his answer would be no, I don't want to hold any public offices, right? So why are we making Joala Rambaran an issue here when Joala Rambaran is going to sit comfortably on a nice cushion of damages and he moves on with his life, right? That is one out of the many years that Christine Kangaloo has served in public office. She has resigned from the PNM 7 years ago to take up the role as President of the Senate. If that is not a sign of integrity, I don't know what is. 2, she has an unblemished political record. And all of these memes and videos that are circulating as a result of the UNC, the woman was a part of the PNM campaigning for a critical seat called Pointe-a-Pierre, which is a swing seat, which is a marginal seat, which is one of the few seats that determines whether Party A or Party B goes into government. What did you expect her to see? And you are taking a video from 2017 and bringing it into 2022, 15 years later? So are you trying to tell me that people can't change over time? So, and perspective does not change over time. And then there's this other question, this other notion that, oh, she was an unfair Senate president and she was biased and she was dictatorial. I can safely say, Candice, I have observed the Parliament channel, and every time Christine Kangaloo has been sitting in the chair as President of the Senate, she has not been any of those things, save and except when she has been overly agitated by the machinations of Senator Arnold Roberts. And the most times that Christine Kangaloo must have lost her cool in the Senate has been because
of Mr.
Arnold Roberts.
Yes.
Exactly. He's like a bad school child that no matter how many times you cut his tail, he continues to do the same thing.
I mean, there was that famous statement of but he was born with a big mouth, so he can't help the volume.
I mean,
and
if you've been born a big mouth, then you deserve to be on the street screaming like a madman, right? So, so today's procedure, it's a procedure. She has put in her resignation. The Senate will meet at 10:30. The government will put forward a nomination for the presidency, and that's it. The seal comes. The appointment for Senate. The appointment of the senator comes from the seal of the president. It is going to be read by the vice president.
Yes.
And then that person sits in, that person then takes up the role. It could very well be that the president would be, I expect that the prime minister would be, the vice president would become the president of the Senate. And if I were prime minister, this is my perspective, if I were prime minister, the vice president would take up the presidency of the Senate, and that extra seat in the Senate would be used for someone who's capable of discharging the duties of national security. And with regard to this whole brouhaha that's happening in the country that you mentioned with regard to the instability in the country is a matter of not as what is happening with regard to the presidency, it is what is happening with crime. And therefore, if we are to fix crime, I think the Prime Minister needs to understand and he needs to face reality. When Gary Griffith was Commissioner of Police, even Minister of National Security, crime was not where it was in 2022, and it was clearly not where it is today. And the country continues to have confidence in Gary Griffith as the Commissioner of Police, and that is who should hold the role. And the Prime Minister has a duty and a responsibility to listen to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because they, at the end of the day, are who is paying his salary.
All right, I want to thank you.
I want to just add one thing. I want to add, Candice, I did not comment on. The Chief Secretary and the executive of the THA do not take bait, do not take that carrot on a stick. Watson Duke's ship is, half of it is under the water and the other half is up in the air, and he is looking now for people to jump on the side that is up in the sky to balance the boat. Do not be distracted by a sinking ship. You have governance and delivery to focus on in the interest of the people of Tobago. Stay focused.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shane Mohammed. Always quite a lot to say. Always a very good insight as to what's happening with us politically. And of course, we certainly look forward to what's going to happen later today and on Friday with the election of the president and the president of the state. All right, thank you so much. And viewers, well, that's how we're going to have to wrap this morning show. It was a pleasure being on with you all. I mean, I know you guys were expecting Ms. Tashia Boris to be on, the Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities, and Transportation. She canceled, and that's why we had a different program on this morning. But hopefully she can be on with us at a later date where we can fix that. All right, thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
So wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never